All right, we're going to take the high HP specialist again. We'll take fortified. This time it's going to be hounds and stormcallers, so another hound game. And our opponent is sledgehammers and arclight. So our opponent, if you look at this, what is the downside of a stormcaller again? If their units are fast, right? You're like, oh god, he's got 16 move speed units. I hate this. My stormcallers never hit them. But he's got 7 move speed arclights, and he's got 7 move speed stormcallers. Sorry, he's got 7 move speed sledgehammers. I have the stormcallers that miss shots if they're shooting at targets that are too fast, because when they shoot, it shoots at where the unit was standing when the shot went off. And as long as it doesn't move out of position too fast, it will land and hit it. And anything above 10 move speed will definitely get out of the way. So let's go ahead and one more time, we'll play kind of aggressive. We'll just start playing a couple of aggressive games here. Our opponent also has sabers coming, possibly, because it's a saber-tooth spec. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's put our hounds. Also, hounds definitely lose to both arclight and sledgehammer, so this is terrifying. This is scary. Let's go ahead and do something like this. Let's get crawlers again. We need something. If we're going to play aggressive, we need something that's going to be able to really... we need something that's going to be able to tank the shots for us, right? This game could be considered, even though it's different units, it could be considered to say we're going to play this game similar to how we just played last game, with the concept of we're going to overwhelm his AoE units, because it's our only choice right now, because right now we have hounds, and we need to make sure they're not getting shot at by either arclight or sledge, because we'll die in like 2 shots from either one of those units. It's very bad. So far our engage has been good. We started off by having our stormcallers kind of like a little bit forward with our hounds and crawlers. I put my crawlers specifically behind my hounds so that they could spread themselves out. And why do I do that? Because it makes... You don't have to do that, but if you don't do it, your units will come in a really clumpy formation, and it just makes your opponent's AoE more effective. But if you come in, if you put units behind units in this game, you do make yourself more vulnerable to things like missile devices, spells, because you're clumping up. But as long as you're paying attention, you can protect yourself from that, from like getting your own barriers or something. And then also, it does increase the longevity of your fight here. When you're getting attacked by a unit that's supposed to be AoEing, but he's taking more time now to get through your crawlers to AoE you properly. All right, I think out of this list, I love the Marksman, I love the Phantom Ray, I love the Void Eye. I don't love the Fang that much. The Fang are going to get destroyed by Arclights, and also, specifically Arclights, but the Sledge are also not bad against them either. The Void Eye and the Marksman are kind of tempting just to kill the Sledge. But I'm a little bit afraid. I'm a little bit afraid of the Phantom Ray existing. So I need to probably focus on Marksman or Phantom Ray, because I have no anti-air right now, and now that it exists, I'm just going to guaranteed lose the round if I don't respect this and he takes it. So I either lose the round a little or a lot based on where he puts it as well. So I'm probably going to take... let's just go ahead and keep it... Let's do this. Let's take the Phantom Ray. We're going to put it in we'll put it here. We'll put it with the army here. We'll just put it so it covers the flank in case he flanks me with it. And it also covers my... it pushes the tower and stuff on the right side. Let's get some anti-missile crawlers here. And let's go ahead and get one more crawler down here. Just so, again, we can chaff him, like swarm him with more chaff. Maybe put it here, to be honest. I think that's a little bit better, actually. Let's just make sure he can't missile device me, because again, we're clumped up. We do not want to get missiled. And also, a beautiful thing too is with Stormcaller, if we make him also not move, like we talked about last game, then we don't miss shots. Whatever we're shooting at, we'll shoot into it. We're getting a paralyzed first. This is good news. Hopefully we can get rid of the Marksman. Or at least control them, like get rid of the Arclight here, so they can't kill the crawlers very fast before we get paralyzed. It looks like we're going to win the round, because his last anti-air unit right there, the Marksman, is getting killed right now, and our Phantom Ray have no other counter. So we automatically win the round regardless now. That's one of the benefits of taking the air unit, is you, even if you lose the round, you actually don't lose the round. Because it saves you. And this is why you also need to respect air, because sometimes your build runs out of gas, and you can't keep winning every single round. Sometimes you get outscaled by something. So losing rounds when you don't want to be losing rounds sometimes is the worst, because you lose momentum in actually winning the game overall. All right, here's a nice combination. We could do a Rhino Assault. He is open to it, but we're already killing the tower anyways, so it's fine. It's not like this tower is a problem. The fight's going all right, and I don't think we need to make a Rhino drop it because it's okay. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to give an Absorb module because to our Phantom Ray, and I think the reason why this is a strong play is because as long as these Phantom Ray aren't stuck on chaff, it's going to be doing a lot of damage. It's going to be doing full damage to any unit it shoots at, so it's going to heal itself a lot. And to be able to make sure and enforce that we don't have to deal with chaff, let's go ahead and get a couple more hounds and a crawler pack on the other side of the map right now. And let's just make sure we're just killing off the majority of crawlers that we can. One thing we could do too that would be really nice is we could actually, if you notice, I don't know where he's going to put his Sabertooth. He might put it on left side, but I think he might, I don't know. He might do anti-missile and put it in the middle here. I have no idea. But I'm going to take a risk here. And I'm actually going to put this Hound Pack a little bit more to the left. I'm going to put a barrier right there. The reason why I'm going to do, maybe a little higher. Put it like right there. The reason why I'm going to do this is because he doesn't actually have any really high DPS single target units here. This is AoE, Sledgehammer. Like it's hybrid a little bit with Sledge, but the Arclight definitely is more of an AoE unit at the start. So we're going to protect the Hounds as well with a big bubble that has 40,000 health because nothing here is doing over 1,000 damage. So the bubble's going to die really slow, maybe not even die at all. This also protects us from getting paralyzed on the left side. And it is acting as like a pseudo tank. And the wonderful thing as well about all of this is if our units end up dying anyways on that side, but they end up getting out of the barrier, we could use it again the next round. But if the barrier ultimately does go down, then like it did, you know, then it's obviously not the best case scenario, but it's not that bad though, because we really did save ourselves from getting paralyzed this entire round for such a long time. So now ultimately it makes us win the round. And at the end of the day, the goal of the game is to efficiently win the game by killing their health bar. And also not like restricting their strategy, right? Not giving them all the XP that they want all the time by killing your army repeatedly. So overall, I feel like it was not the worst. I wouldn't say it was the best barrier we've ever made, but the idea was there. It's not a bad barrier either by any means. I don't want to make it sound like it was bad. It's just that it wasn't best case scenario because it did die. So if I were to think about how to do that more optimally, I might genuinely move the barrier back a tad so the Hounds could walk out of it and go die instead of stand in it and then get the barrier killed and then die anyways. Like the main reason why I put it there is because I wanted them to stay alive long enough to kill the crawlers so that these Phantom Ray wouldn't get stuck on crawlers. And also then I wouldn't get paralyzed. But if it would have won, it would have been even better. It would have been great. Okay, there's another potential Rhino Assault. He did drop a Rhino up there to try to counter me if I were to do that, but I don't think I'm going to do it myself again right now. I think I'll give myself... Here, I'll do subsidized... this is not like the... No, I'm not going to do that. It's okay. This is a... Here, we'll do a Rhino Assault. I'll just drop it up here. Let's see. We'll test him and see if he does it again. It's on the opposite turn of him now. Go for that. It's fine. Let's go ahead and get our Hounds ranged this time, and let's get ourselves 2 more Hounds. Having a little bit more damage over here could really make the difference. And also help kill the crawlers faster. There's so many crawlers that come here that the Stormcaller gets stuck on. So now we have Hounds. Again, he's got a lot of units that need to be AoE'd, and we have a lot of AoE clear for it. He dropped a Rhino on my Hounds on the left, but now I dropped a Rhino in his tower. So that's good. We're going to paralyze him. I wanted to pick the... Also, like, I was thinking about doing subsidized crawler there. The reason why I didn't do that is because that is gonna... It's not probably the best thing to teach people. It's more of like a... It's more of like a hopeful, entertaining playstyle than a serious one that we need right now. I do think Rhino Drop is probably the most efficient thing we could have done there. Because if he doesn't respect it and we get something huge out of it, like a Paralyze, it literally could just botch that entire round for your opponent. And we actually got lucky that he chose this time to not drop the Rhino on top and instead drop it down on my Hounds. Because then the Rhino died while it was paralyzed. And if it was up here, the Rhinos would have just killed each other. There's a luck chance where I might have got like the last hit or the first hit, basically. But yeah. Anyways, we do have 2 crawlers that have leveled up. Okay, I'll say this. If you see subsidized crawler and your army is actually able to like push in the engagement, like if you recognize your opponent's AoE can be completely countered by loose formation, and that's assuming everything in his splash range is less than 10. Okay, all of his units have less than 10 splash, and there's no fire. Or if you have fire, you have Hounds then. Like if you have to deal with fire, you have Hounds. This is not that bad if you have these factors all happening. So that fire can't kill them, and also they can't be AoE'd by what's currently there. So now we could actually level the crawlers for free forever with that card. That card costs 100, and it makes all crawlers now have 0 cost to level them up. So it's kind of crazy. It does provide a lot of control. Let's go ahead on this side and let's get ourselves... we really do need some more damage. I'll just go ahead and do Stormcaller one more time on this side. And let's get ourselves also one more crawler. Maybe like right there. I'll get a damage upgrade again as well. And right now we only have 1 anti-air unit. So in this quadrant I have no anti-air. In this quadrant I have no anti-air. Remember how we talked about by like round 5 or round 6? You probably want to start thinking about getting some actual anti-air. I think we should probably think about maybe making something in our bottom left here, at the very least, that can deal with air. Because there's no guarantee he's going to go air, but you are playing kind of fast and loose if you never ever cover the bases of what you need to cover. Like if your opponent understands that and reacts to it, they can find opportunities to abuse you with it. He leveled up his tower on the right. Or no, he didn't level it. I'm surprised it didn't actually die. Alright, well we got through it. Why'd you take an arc light? I didn't take an arc light. I don't have an arc light right now. Alright, we could take a Rhino on the bottom left. His DPS is not the highest over here. He does have more, to be fair, these marksmen are good DPS. And there are like 5 of them in this area. So what I said is not actually, yes, the DPS is actually good here. If the Rhino runs into that, it's dead. As long as, but if I can keep the marksman shooting at crawlers, then suddenly it's a different story. Fortress over here could be decent. Void Eye over here could be pretty decent. I think Void Eye might actually be a really nasty play. It's a lot of sources of DPS, and it's also really cheap. Just for this sake of it, and it's also got a free upgrade too, which is nice. I don't even have to commit to them, but now these are like little mini tanks that will also keep themselves alive a lot better. Let's go ahead and give ourselves like a couple of Void Eye here. And let's do a crawler pack. Here, go like the little left, actually. Like that. Yeah. Get another crawler pack, like right there. Let's get Mechanical Rage. Now that we're playing really forward on the board, let's get up there faster. And let's do the same thing again on our Stormcallers. Let's get Launcher Overload so they move faster and they also shoot faster. More shots. Also, I said we needed to get an air unit. Let's just get a Phantom Ray down here in the far back so that we can start building out an anti-air unit in this quadrant that we already have access to. And I don't love a Phantom Ray going into this, but if it goes in late and the marksmen aren't shooting at it, then it's okay. But yeah. At least now we have something that can shoot an air unit. So like if he makes like a wraith or something over here, like there's a lot of things in this game that can really screw you over if you don't respect it. Like if I'm rushing somebody and they make a wraith, and the wraith has an ability called the degeneration aura. What it does is it has a big radius that is very large. It's like over 100 meters. It's like 120, I think. And everything inside of it is snared. It's like all reduced move speed and also takes more damage while underneath it. So it really can screw over a rush pretty hard. And how do you get rid of it? Kill it with something that can do single target anti-air. So again, it doesn't need to be a Phantom Ray. The only reason why I picked it is because it was either a Phantom Ray or a Marksman. To be fair, I think a Marksman probably would have been better. But now, at least now that I have 2 Phantom Ray, it gives me more incentive as well to maybe get upgrades for this Phantom Ray. There's always like pros and cons about things. I could also get a range device on this Phantom Ray and just get range on my Phantom Ray and keep them further out away from the Marksman. It'll keep them further back. It would keep this Phantom Ray behind my Hound line, so it wouldn't die. Let's just do that. Let's grab the range, put it on the Phantom Ray. Now it has 85. If I gave it range, now it has 125. These hounds only have 110. Automatically, my Phantom Ray will never go in front of the hounds. Marksman will never look at it unless he upgrades Aerial Specialist, because then he could like see air further. But overall, you could like we just made a play there with Phantom Ray. Now we're actually happy to keep leveling this Phantom Ray on the right. And let's say your opponent's playing like this, right? They have nothing really guarding their tower. You can also do things like this. Just tell these, get a mobile beacon on the right tower, and tell your crawler pack here to just run up. Just run directly at it. Just don't even waste any time. Hit that tower. Instead, because right now what the crawlers tend to do is they fight here, and then they run this way as these crawlers get in the fight. Let's level our crawlers. Let's also give our crawlers this round loose formation again, so we can avoid all of the arc light and all of the sledgehammer splash. Okay, now he got fire and a Vulcan. So he has better AoE. See how the Vulcan has 15 AoE splash? And now also there's fire. That means next time oil comes back up on cooldown, I should probably think about turning on my Hound's sprinkler system, or maybe even turning it on now, because his Vulcans actually have an upgrade. Like, not turned on yet, but he has an upgrade available that is Incendiary Bomb, which throws fire missiles at me and leaves fire on the ground. And if I have fire on the ground, my Hounds and my Crawlers are all going to die super easy. I could specifically save the Hounds if I wanted to with armor. Armor in this game blocks damage, and fire does damage. The way fire registers is it does 70 damage every like 0.2 of a second, or like, yeah, I think it's every like 0.2 of a second or something, or maybe it's every second. No, I think it's every 0.2 of a second. It's fast. And then if you have level 1 armor, it's basically, oh, it does 70 damage, and then you take 60 off. So it's only doing 10 damage a tick instead of 70 damage a tick. And when you get level 2 on a unit that has armor, it now has 120 off of the 70. Because if you have armor that has a higher value than the damage is doing, then it can only do 1 damage. So then forevermore, on a level 2 or above unit that has armor, fire on the ground only does 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage. And that unit will never die. Yeah, it's 0.2. I'm pretty sure it's 0.2 of a second. Is every 70 damage every 0.2 seconds. So 1 second is 350. Okay. Well, now we got additional deployment. We got absorb module. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's do an absorb module, and let's get ourselves 1 more Phantom Ray. Put it in the middle. Give another absorb module to it. We're going Phantom Ray anyways. They're behind Hounds. Let's let them level up. Let's give our Hounds sprinkler systems. Let's put 2 Hounds in the front. Just 2 more. The only reason why I'm doing this is because I'm afraid that my front crawlers up here actually might be ignited really fast. Level the crawler. Whatever. Let's drop the Rhino. We don't have to worry about a mobile beacon this round. Get damage. We have 300 to spare. All right, so we got sprinkler system. So now oil, fire combinations, or just fire missiles and stuff will no longer be able to crush around on us. And we just have all our crawlers right now and all our hounds engaging again. So once again, now the Vulcan's dead. Guess what? Nothing AoEs the crawlers again. The only thing that the worm actually does AoE the crawlers a little bit. Again, it's another giant unit. He just added it to his army this round. It has 12 splash range. Its AoE radius is a bit larger. But the game's going well. We have a balanced composition, and I would say our anti-air is weak overall, but it doesn't matter if our anti-ground is winning anyways. And Hound Crawler is a nice combination. So again, just to throw it out there, just to break it down, just in case, like a recap now. So our board is Crawler, Void Eye, Hound, Stormcaller, Phantom Ray. And that's it. And you don't have to have boards that you can have boards with a lot of different varieties of units. It's okay. But again, you just got to make sure you have everything controlled. Single target AoE, ground and air. Chaff right now is, I would say once again, chaff for us is hybrid. It's definitely chaff that buys us time, that dies for the sake of other units to not die, that have better range and can stay behind them and hide behind all the crawlers. So they're doing that job regardless. But when the arc lights die, when the sledgehammers die, and specifically, this is before I have loose formation, but now after loose formation, it doesn't even matter. These units honestly don't even matter. They're just as strong as like a marksman or a you know, a fang or whatever. Like their AoE becomes way worse, as we've talked about. But then once for Vulcan, once it exists, like crawlers are now no longer going to do damage. Like they're going to just die again. But once the crawler, or once the Vulcan dies, crawlers, they become like activated again. They're able to actually exist. They don't die in 2 seconds. So the fact that the Vulcan is dying pretty fast because it doesn't have a ton of cover right now is great for us, because it's dying before the rest of his army. It's not able to get the job done so that a lot of our crawlers can get through and get what they need to get done. So again, crawlers are like, mostly they're chaff, but in this particular game, because our opponent had no real good AoE till the very end, we chose to give them loose formation to increase their viability, to help them out. We also had a card this game called Subsidized Crawler. The reason why we took it is because our crawlers happen to be, again, no 10 plus AoE range units existed when we took that. So investing into crawlers for momentum in the game made sense. It was good at the time. If our opponent had a Vulcan on round 3, I would not think subsidized crawlers would be good anymore. Even if one of them could be leveled up, I'd be like, I'm running into a Vulcan the entire time, and if I just level my crawlers at this point, against such an early Vulcan, if he went Vulcan that fast, all it would do is give him more experience per kill, because in this game, when a unit levels up and is then killed, it's worth more experience to the unit that killed it. So you're feeding your opponent more XP if you're feeding them high-level units that are doing effectively nothing better than they would be, even if they were level 1. And a crawler is an absolute case into a Vulcan. If it still is just dying in like a millisecond by getting looked at, and it's just dying to fire, you know, it's not a good time to be a crawler then. And it's really a great time to be a Vulcan if your opponent levels his crawlers so that your Vulcan can level even faster. Like if you have like a level 5 Vulcan out here, it's going to eat crawlers alive all day, like no problem. But yeah, so like that, make sure that makes sense. I feel like that's something that needs to be understood. Knowing what is good or bad about an upgrade makes it either feel good or bad when you use it. So anything with more than 10 AoE, I'm not going to say loose formation is useless, but I am going to say its use case gets lower. It's like not as good now. So I don't think loose formation is bad against the Vulcan. I just think it's not as good. But now the crazy thing you got to think about is it is an investment. And if you don't protect your investment in some way, it's a wasted investment. So loose formation does help against the Vulcan's auto attack a little bit, because you don't stay still clumped. It does take more time for a Vulcan to look more directions to kill everything, but it's not that much better. It's not like it makes a world of difference. But the big thing is if the Vulcan is using fire on the ground, like incendiary bombs, and your crawlers are just running into fire anyways, even if they're loosely spread, that's a complete waste of your money. So I protected my investment with fire extinguisher because he does have bombs on his Vulcan. I didn't have to do this. Sometimes you can like wait for an oil round to come up and be like, okay, it's probably going to happen now. Or you can see them do it once, and then after that, you can now counter it by activating it. You can do this if you're not really worried about dying. But if you feel like you have a solid board, you can actually premeditate what needs to be countered with. But you need to be always checking your opponent's upgrades, right? Like, I don't need to take fire extinguisher if he doesn't have incendiary bomb. At that point, the only time I got to worry about maybe taking fire extinguisher is the round that oil is up. So if the oil is on cooldown, I don't got to worry, because oil is another way you can spawn fire on the ground. Because if you drop oil on the ground and a Vulcan attacks a unit on top of it, it ignites all of it and makes a fire patch that all of your units now start taking. That thing we talked about earlier, which is every 0.2 seconds you take 70 damage, which adds up to 350 damage every second. So my crawlers die running through it because they have less than 200 hit points. But if I can extinguish the fire of any kind, whether it be oil or whether it be incendiary bomb, then I'm good, right? Then I'm like, cool, well, all my crawlers are just they're gonna be dancing around in a shower, not being burned alive by fire. And it's gonna be great. So yeah, all my crawlers were protected. So my crawlers became DPS after the fact. I feel like we could also say a bonus here is that it clears acid and smoke effects. I didn't actually realize it cleared smoke effects, to be honest. That's new to me. But it clears out a lot of the effects that would get in our way. But the big one that matters a lot from my composition personally is fire. I don't really care about acid that much because I'll be, you know, my units are going to get one shot anyways. And I'm winning the fight mostly because he's not, it's not that he's killing me too slowly because I'm tanking through it. It's that he's not able to AoE me. So I don't even actually care about acid at all, because I'm going to get one shot either way. And it's about how many bodies I have there rather than how strong each one is. This is a quantity over quality army. So acid doesn't really apply to me. I think acid's more of a counter to quality units. But we have, but yeah, I get what you mean though. Like it's just good in general. Like it's multi now there's more things that can affect us. I agree. It's a nice like bonus. But yeah, like, so that's, you know, our hounds again are AoE, and as they level up, which they are again this game, they're able to also turn into supporting DPS because they start really getting into that 1,000+ DPS range, which starts getting to the point to where it's really respectable. And then we have our Stormcallers again. Our Stormcallers, same purpose. These things are great DPS as long as you're not getting hit by a bunch of anti-missile devices, or as long as you're not missing all your shots because units are running through your missiles repeatedly too fast. That's why this is why Stormcallers actually kind of excel sometimes in aggressive play, because you make the units on their side not move anymore regardless of how fast they are, because you're pushing them immediately. So the first volley of Stormcaller doesn't miss necessarily. Now there's obviously always things your opponent can do, like they can extend chaff forward and now cancel out what I just said. But you know, the game goes on. You can counter everything in this game. I'm going to missile device it now. There's always a bunch of stuff you can do. He gets anti-missiles, and I really can't anti-missile device it. Then my hounds kill it. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, our Stormcallers, for the time being, are our form of DPS. And then finally, our Phantom Ray are another form of DPS. They are the same thing as Phoenix. But this one, I will say, is riskier than Phoenix, simply because it is a missile-based attacking unit. There is no indicator on the UI that says that. I feel like that could be patched in at some point. I don't know. Just to make it easier for people to understand. Like if there was like a damage type where it was like normal, missile, whatever. You know what I mean? Channeled attack. Or someone's like, what does this unit only do 1 damage? You know, for like a steel ball or something. But yeah, what the signifier, the reason why it's relevant, why I'm bringing it up, is because if I have a missile-based anti-air unit and my opponent gets air and also gets anti-missile, So if he gets something that does anti-missile like his Mustangs here, and then he gets like Phoenix behind it, I can't actually kill those anymore because my Phantom Ray, even if my Phantom Ray are targeting the Phoenix, their shots will be diffused midair if the Mustangs are still alive. The only way I win that fight is if I'm killing the Mustangs before my Phantom Ray kills his air units, if he were to have any. So although he doesn't have any this game, I just want you guys to understand that is a risk that does exist. Phantom Ray is a little riskier as a core, that's all you're making unit. And one of the ways to complement that, if you really want to rely on Phantom Ray, is the more you make, the more missiles he has to really worry about, and you can overpower it. Also, Phantom Ray does run an upgrade, or it has an upgrade, which I don't have right now, but it has an upgrade called Burst, and you can just turn that on, and it makes all your, like, you get a much slower attack speed at the, but what you gain is you get a lot more missiles shot off all at once. You shoot a burst fire of missiles all at once, and it really penetrates through anti-missile pretty hard. So if you can make sure, you know, you really need Phantom Ray to be able to attack something, that is also something you could do. So yeah, burst might be like maybe a necessary upgrade if you're going to play Phantom Ray the way I just did. I don't have it yet, but it's worth mentioning because your opponent, again, a good player in the game will realize, oh, missile-based unit, that's all you got? I can beat you with air, and you're going to start losing rounds until you realize how to deal with that. And now it would be like, maybe you need a Phoenix, maybe you need a Marksman, maybe you need a Melting Point, maybe you need an Abyss, maybe you need a Overlord, blah, 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 blah. Maybe whatever you need, whatever the game provides, right? Sometimes the game gives you options, sometimes you got to invest yourself. But just really understanding the job and the liabilities of said unit's job. And a Phantom Ray can absolutely be a liability at times. But if it's not a liability and your opponent isn't really turning it off, if your opponent's not trying to straight up counter it, it's a great unit then, because its damage is totally good. Its damage is very respectable. And currently, again, in my army, this guy's army is like all on the left side. So this Phantom Ray doesn't need to worry because there's nothing opposing it, and it will just swarm over this side as it gets overwhelmed, and it won't even matter. Marksmen don't even have a chance to look at the Phantom Ray because they're going to be dead before they do. And then this Phantom Ray, this one's kind of exposed, but it's on the edge of the army. So like, again, a lot of this is going to be focused really, you know, but the Phantom Ray definitely can be, this is on the edge of being liable. It could get targeted. This side might really help cover it though, because it is coming this direction. This Phantom Ray, absolutely liable. It's in the worst spot ever. It's got a bunch of marksmen that can look at it super easy. And if they did, it would die instantly. These are high-level marksmen as well. They'll like one-shot the Phantom Ray. But this one has a range device. And now that its range device is active, again, if we were to imagine an imaginary line that's where my hounds are going to be standing, well, which is like, let's just say it's the Void Eye line here. Where my hounds are here is where my Phantom Ray will be, because they have more range, so they won't get targeted. So if his marksmen are standing right there shooting at my hounds, my Phantom Ray would be shooting right behind it at the marksman. Or at whatever the hounds are stuck on, the Phantom Ray are also going to be stuck on, because Phantom Ray also shoot ground units. So they're always going to stay behind the hounds. Until the hounds are dead, and then the Phantom Ray are liable to be killed. So yeah, I feel like our army, we understood the liabilities and we tried to protect the liabilities based on how this board looked. But that's everyone's, in this board, that was everyone's job again, and I hope it makes sense. Every board always works like this. And you can be really creative and like change upgrades on your units and try to make units have different jobs and stuff like that.